Hi there, everyone. I am super happy to be back with you again as we continue our theme of the miracle of no heat, which is kind of coming off of my book, Faith in the Furnace and No Heat. Now, today we are going to be talking about an emotion that all of us have felt at some time in our life's experiences, and some of us might even be experiencing it right now. It can assail any of us at any time, and it can be very overwhelming, except for God's presence and His power and His assurances in our lives. Now, there's so many assurances that God gives us in His Word that we do not need to be overcome by this emotion that can be very overwhelming. I tell you, this is the one that will really make you sweat, that will bring some heat. And sometimes it is literal sweating. And sometimes it can be so intense that a person can actually make a puddle at right at their feet when it gets really, really hot. Now, Second Timothy 1:7, you're familiar with that, aren't you? God says, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear. It did not come from Him at all. It must come either from ourselves or from our enemy. And the fact that some of us are still held in bondage to this crippling emotion is emphasized in Hebrews 2:15, which says, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. Family, I don't want all my lifetime to be subject to bondage. What about you? But the fact of the matter, when we are talking about crucible experiences and going through the crucible, there are certain emotions that can come naturally in crucible experiences, and one of them is fear. Now, just recently, and I'm going to call this lady's name, just recently, I asked a lady, tell me why you're not afraid of death. Obviously, that had an inference which she understood, and she responded and she said, I was just smiling. I was saying, what is Sister Sheila going to say? I knew what she was going to say though. She said, because it's just asleep. It is just asleep. And then she said, but one of her concerns would have been how her husband and her children might take it. I quite like that answer. It is just asleep. But the fact of the matter is that fear, especially the fear of death, can be absolutely terrifying for some people. That is why they say that there are no atheists in foxholes, because people can run their mouth and talk their talk, but when they come into an experience where it looks as though they're going to lose their lives, it is another story altogether. It is OMG, oh my God, we all call upon God. Now, some of you may say, oh, Nola's written a book, she has this whole band of faith, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you something. God does not drop down faith on us like a pound of lard out of heaven, not at all. Very often, He gives us experiences to allow us to know that our faith needs to be strengthened. And I had such an experience in 1998. I've written about it in my little encyclopedia. So if you've got the book, I'd like you to go to page 59, because that is where I write about it. So just quick nutshell. Right. So a doctor told me something and that threw me into a panic. So let me read a little bit of what I have, because I want you to go and read it yourself. I said, I would be calm one moment, and then out of the blue, like a big black monster, a thought would creep its way into my head, knot up my stomach, and send me on an internal panic alert. I would actually experience the tension in my stomach, a feeling akin to heartburn. I must tell you, fear is terrible, just awful. It can sap you. The paradox goes, cowards die many times before their death. Yes, I died many times. You may wonder if I was not praying. Yes, I was praying and worrying at the same time. God was speaking to me loudly, saying, do not fear, do not worry, it will be nothing, everything will be all right. I heard half of that with my mind, and with the other half, I listened to my own thoughts. I see my time has run away. But I'll tell you what happened. A morning I knelt down to pray, and God gave me a direct message. I had no rebuttal to it. If you want to know what that message is, go to the book and read it. God bless you. And I want to reinforce to you, family, that God has not given us God has not given us a spirit of fear. We serve a God who has made the heavens and the earth, and He is powerful. And we must trust Him and not let Him down. God bless you. Have a good day, and I'll pick up with you the next time. I am truly enjoying this theme, and I hope you are too. You may not be going through anything now, but you never know. A month, months, years down the line, these very notes may turn around and be helpful. God bless you. You keep good. You're coming back. I'm looking for you. Okay.